Hey Feast people, welcome to another week. The first thing I'd like to show you this week is the cornucopia biodynamic eggs. Now these are grown up near Lostock by Ray Marshall and Kerry, and in my humble opinion they're the best egg on the market for a number of reasons, apart from the fact that they're biodynamic. You know, as these guys say, one of the key ingredients is love, and there's a lot of work in producing these eggs. They're a small scale operation. These guys produce in 1 year what a conventional egg house will produce in 1 day. So you can see there that it's quite a small scale operation, but a lot of work. Basically, these chickens, they're never confined to cages. They're free to range on pasture, so they're actually truly free range. The basic free range regulations in this country mean most of these eggs are still produced in sheds, but they're actually not in cages within those sheds. And I'm not sure of the exact number of hours, but those sheds have to open the doors to allow the chickens to go outside for a couple of hours a day. But hence, as there's no feed outside, generally they're not a lot of pasture immediately accessible, a lot of predators and the like outside those sheds. So they're really relying on the feed, which they're supplemented with inside the sheds. And because of the drought in this country at the present, grain prices are fairly high, and there's a lot of genetically modified corn and other materials, soybeans and the like, being imported into this country, largely for poultry feed. And that's something you certainly won't get with organic. These guys are paying well over $1,000 a tonne for certified organic grains to supplement the fresh pasture that these chickens get. So it's quite an expensive way of doing it, but really an absolute premium egg, because they are on the pasture. It's the chlorophyll in the grass which actually gives the yolk its colour naturally. You'll find these days, I suppose, a lot of conventional eggs have reasonable colour, but that's because they artificially are able to enhance the colour of the yolk these days. They've actually got a chart where they can regulate the amount of additive into the feed to gain a certain colour. These are as nature intended, and they come as they do. As cornucopia say on here, there's everything you'd ever want in an egg and nothing you wouldn't. And basically it's where the chicken and the egg both come first, and it's the best egg you'll get. They're on special this week, largely because they've got some new young layers starting to produce, and their volume's increased a little bit. We can't always get these eggs. Most of these are sold to Sydney. Places like Tetsuyas and the like seek raise eggs, and that's a pretty high recommendation. So really, if you haven't tried them before, give them a go this week, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Beautiful. Now to fruit peel. Might seem a bit early, but these are new season gallows. As you can see, it is fairly early in terms of size. Lovely small pieces. Very, very, very crunchy. A little bit tart. They'll sweeten up a little bit more. Good little size for the kids. But yeah, nice new season fruit. Now, this season thus far, there have been lots of highlights in terms of stone fruit, but I've been disappointed with the peaches. That is until this week. We managed to snaffle 1 tray of these last week, not enough to mention to you, but this week we've got a good supply. These are white peaches. The variety is Barbara, and they're brilliant. They're so sweet. They're a free stone, so the flesh comes away from the stone, so they're nice and clean and easy to eat, and they're like mega juicy. It's a great peach. Now another highlight this week are the cherries from Tasmania. Again, really big cherries, nice large fruit, and they've sweetened up quite a bit from last week as well. They're fantastic. And now the grape season's moving along. We've got a second variety to match the Menindee seedless, which into their 2nd week, so they've started to sweeten up. And then a sweeter fruit again are the flamed seedless. So that's a great one for the kids. as well as the Menindee seedless, because there are no seeds. Bananas this week are slightly smaller pieces than last week. You can see they've got a little bit of colour. We're also running that special again where you spend $50 and you have access to these at $2.99 a kilo, which is a very, very good price. Great deals on mangoes. Now this is Kensington Pride. They're about finished. We'd expect these for probably another 2 weeks at tops. Great sized pieces. You can buy them singularly for $2, or you can buy 5 at $8.95 on the web. We've got trays for around the 30 mark. There's about 20 in the tray. So a really good price. They're magnificently sweet and juicy. And get your fill before it's all over, Red Rover. A couple of weeks left. Strawberries from Queensland. Unfortunately, none of our local fruit. They're expecting a flush in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But if you really must have strawberries, we've got these. Blueberries, again, my advice is eat your fill till you can no longer stand them, because we're a long time without them, and so they're really, really lovely and sweet. A few more weeks left. Now to vegetables, look, there are a few highlights, but namely the thing that really stands out are the cucumbers. They're lovely fresh picked cucumbers. Now we're getting them from Pinehaven Organics at Buchanan, and we're also getting them from Gresford, from Jacob's Ladder up there. So they're lovely and fresh. They're picking for us a couple of times a week. So we've got the green cucumbers there, or we've got the crystal apple, which is the non-acid variety. Lovely and fresh. Cucumbers I'm not really into, but people tell me they're nice. The beans are brilliant. Some of the nicest beans we've had in quite some time. Lovely and sweet, crunchy and fresh. Black Russian tomatoes, again from Jacob's Ladder up at Gresford. Now we sliced one for you on last week's video. I won't slice another. Suffice to say that they're an heirloom variety, packed full of flavour. They're what you would expect in a real tomato. And as I said last week, you don't really see them very often these days because, well, stores like me don't like to carry them because they're a delicate tomato, and so therefore they don't keep particularly well, and they don't always travel brilliantly. But we'll pack them nice and neat and safe in your box. They'll be snug and secure, and they'll arrive and they'll be beautiful to eat. So do yourself a favour and just try that for something a bit different. Lebanese eggplants, I'd recommend just slicing into quarters and baking. Thanks. Great stew. Great bunches of celery this week. They're, as you can see, quite large, so I'd recommend a half or even a quarter. I'm pretty sure we've got that on the net. As you can see, they look tremendous. Another highlight, a delicate green. Really, in my opinion, the best way to eat English spinach is to serve it up chopped fine in a salad, raw, uncooked. You can throw it into a stir fry. I'd suggest throwing it in after you take the pan off the heat, really, and just allowing the residual heat to gently cook it through. They're lovely and sweet. Sweet's a good word. Okay. On that same theme, again, fresh a couple of times a week is the silverbeet. They're, again, as I said last week, the young leaves, which are a bit more tender and a little bit sweeter than the thicker, more dark green prickly leaf, grown fresh by Pinehaven Organics at Buchanan. Here we are down in the bowels of the feast, where we keep our potatoes. Now potatoes, we've been a bit light on, I suppose, in the last couple of months in terms of nice fresh dug pieces. There we go. Fresh out of the ground, beautiful Nicholas, lovely size. They'll bake brilliantly. And Sebago, let's see what they like. Oh, nice. But there you go, have a look at those. Beautiful. Bake or mash. That's what I'd do. Yum. This is Amanda of Sunny's, a very good customer of ours, and you can get lots of her wonderful organic food down at Islington. What's the street again?
Maitland Road.
Maitland Road. Sunny's Vegetarian Cafe. Very good. See you next week. Have a good week. Bye. Once again, thank you very much